Just going back to like, I gave up my life in my 20s to launch my business, I would say to people, focus on your health. Focus on getting as physically in shape as possible. That goes such a long way, because when you do difficult things in the gym, life and business gets easy. And not only that, it builds discipline. And so,
why do you think that is? Do you think it's the discipline part that just translates over? Is that the biggest?
It's the discipline. Yeah, being disciplined enough to wake up and go to the gym, or to wake up and go to the basement and get a lift in when you don't want to, on a daily basis. It definitely builds over time.
You know, a random thought I had, because I'll go and work out sometimes. I'll say sometimes.
What do you mean? I've seen videos of you
No. I'm saying
on the bench, just like five plates. Just
let me finish the sentence.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes I'll go at 5 a.m. Okay. I'm always working out. Yeah. I will go work out every day. I go insane if I don't. But sometimes I'll go at 5 a.m. and I have this thought in my mind, because it's not easy to go work out at 5 a.m. Going to work out at 5 a.m. means you need to be waking up at 4. 4:15. Yep. Get the pre-workout in, right, and let that thing sit for a little bit. There's a whole routine to that. Yeah. When I go to the gym at 5 a.m., I'm thinking to myself, man, if I ever wanted to start a business and I was looking for just like solid employees that were disciplined, I would start at 5 a.m. at the gym. And I'd be like, who's my vibe? I would start there, because I feel like when it comes to discipline, it takes discipline to show up consistently at that morning hour every day. Yep.
I'm with you 100% on that. I definitely think that those are the people that you want to be associated with.
Yeah.
And like, I don't go to the gym at 5 a.m. Like, I'm up at 6, and I go lift my basement at like 6:15 and get done at 7, and then get on with all my employees and do a check-in for the day. But I mean, you don't need to wake up at 5 a.m. to be successful.
No.
But you do need to lift or do something physical daily to build that discipline. I think that's a good point. And then also too, like, I think a lot of times people want to check out of anxiety, but let the anxiety happen. Like, there's so many people on like pills that just block the anxiety. It's like, what's the anxiety teaching you? Why do you feel anxious?
Yep.
Is it because you don't have the skills yet? Is it because you don't, I haven't put in the time yet? Okay, let it teach you something. So many people just like kick back the Bud Light and smoke because they don't want to deal with that stuff. It's like, as a man, you have to be able to deal with that stuff daily. Yep. And so I would just say to all the young men, let that anxiety come. Anxiety is not a bad thing. Anxiety is what's going to teach you to build discipline and to overcome and to build the skills that someday you won't have the anxiety. So,
what does that look like as a father with young children? How are you showing them what it looks like to get through those hard times?
Yeah, just having them do stuff that they don't want to do. So with the kids, I have them do boxing every day they're with me. If not boxing, then we go play tennis. Little young to do anything else. But we just hold the mitts, do boxing, then tennis, just building the hand-eye. But it's just doing stuff that they don't want to do. And stuff that, like, with my oldest, she gets like super anxious about doing new stuff. And so putting it into a game, like making a game out of it, it definitely helps push that anxiety down. But then she's able to build those skills and then move, and then the anxiety's gone. So it's funny how, like, we always have anxiety about doing new things, but once we get past that, we can push off that anxiety. Yeah. But a lot of times people just like take a pill or smoke something or, sit back something, and then to kill the anxiety. And because of that, they don't face it head on, and they don't build those skills. It's not teaching them anything. And they get stuck in this loop of, I'm going to have anxiety. Oh, let's do something to avoid that anxiety. Yep. And then you don't get to the next level. Yeah. So let the anxiety teach you stuff. Let those moments that suck teach you stuff instead of just, taking a pill or checking out. Yep. I think that was one of the biggest things that I did when, me and my ex-wife split up. Like, it sucked. It was so bad. And I was talking to one of my buddies, and he's like, oh, dude, you should, take these pills. Like, it'll help you chill out. Because I had like bad anxiety, and I was like, no, like, this is teaching me something. Yeah. And now, like, I'm so thankful because I can look back at all the things that I did, because there's a lot of stuff that I did that I shouldn't have done too, like just bad mistakes that I made, and neglecting my job as a husband and a father to my kids because I was so focused on other things. And now I'm able to actually feel feel that and apply it into my life now and not make those same mistakes again. Whereas if I was just checked out on, smoking or, doing whatever else I was doing, not to say I was doing those things because I wasn't, but but if I was doing those things,
insert whatever it was, right?
Yeah, it could be anything, whatever vice that you love, you wouldn't have that anxiety and you wouldn't have been taught by that anxiety. So I think anxiety is a good thing. I think a lot of times we avoid it, but doing things that give you anxiety are good things. Like going out, I'll give you this example. I've got this buddy who's like so good at shooting, and going out with him gives me anxiety because I'm like, I'm not as good as this guy. Yeah. Shout out Isaac. Yeah. Hawaiian shooter. Yeah. He's hella good. And every time I go out with him, I'm like, gosh, I'm going to feel like an idiot. And I get this anxiety build up, but I go out with them and I'm like, get to the next level.
I love that feeling.
Yeah. I love that feeling. Just pushing it. And I think, going back to athletics too, like I feel like a lot of kids that will watch us play football, the best way to get good at something is to go play with someone who's on the next level as you. And when you like walk up to the field, you tie up those cleats, you feel that anxiety. It's like, oh my gosh. But then you get in like 10 plays and it's like, oh, this isn't that bad. I can hang with them. And then you get to that next level, you play with them. And it's the same thing in business, same thing in life, same thing in anything that you do. But if you didn't, if you check out and take a pill or, do whatever else, you don't get that anxiety. You avoid that activity completely because at that point in time, you become incapacitated. And it's like, it's just not good.
Yeah. So, we went down to Vegas last weekend to watch my brother-in-law's Muay Thai fight.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And this is the first live real fight that my in-laws, who I went with, they had been present in.
Yeah.
And if you've ever been to a fight, like that anxiety you feel as just people who are there to watch, right? Yep. My in-laws were just on edge. Yeah. There was like 9 fights before my brother-in-law fought.
Yeah.
They were already on edge the whole time, just like that feeling, right?
Yeah, just like clenched up.
I looked at my wife and I was like, I love this feeling. Like this is the feeling. This is the feeling.
That's what makes men.
Exactly.
Like, and that's what,
I think it's so exciting when you're in that, when you're in that feeling, because you bring up football, like that's probably the closest thing you can get to like feeling that in real time. You know what I mean? It's almost like that feeling right before you're about to go to war.
Yeah.
And as a man, you're like, you can either buckle under the pressure and shy away from it, or you just, you use that as natural fuel.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I got a little bit of that taste again, being in that room. I was just like, dude, this is sick.
Yeah. I feel like fighting is one of those things that's like it's the biggest way to find yourself. Like, one of my buddies, he's so good at boxing. I go box with him. And the first time I laced up with him, he's like, okay, let's go, And I had like the most anxiety, but I was like, okay, am I about that life? And I found out a lot about myself that day. And I got beat up a lot and I had a massive headache that night. But it's one of those things that's like, it teaches you like, hey, who am I? And it exposes a lot about you. And, if you're not on that level yet, it's okay, but you got to, get to that level.
Yep.
So,
yeah.